Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite recipes for springtime entertaining. Carrot cake cupcakes. I love this recipe because they're elegant and delicious and so festive. Also, those little fondant carrots on top are a lot easier to make than you might think, and I'm going to show you how to make those too. I also wanted to let you know that today I've launched 2 new episodes on my gardening channel. One all about how to grow your own lemons, and then I'm going to show you how to take those lemons and turn them into a fantastic lemon pound cake recipe. So after this video is done, you can head over there and check those videos out. I'll leave you a link in the description. Okay, so let's get to the carrot cake cupcakes. We're first going to begin by cracking in 3 eggs into a large bowl. To that, you're going to add a cup of sugar, and then whisk that all up until it's nice and combined. Then we're going to add 3/4 cup of melted butter, unsalted will do, and give that a good whisk. Then you can go ahead and set that aside, and then we're going to whisk together our dry ingredients. So in a smaller bowl, you're going to take 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can go ahead and whisk that up, and then we're going to add our spices. So I think one of the most delicious parts about a carrot cake is that wonderful spice that typically comes from cinnamon and nutmeg. So we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon and 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then you can go ahead and whisk that into your flour mixture. Then we're going to take our dry ingredients and slowly combine it to our wet ingredients, just mixing it up in thirds until everything is nice and combined. Then it's time to add our carrots. So we're going to take about 3 peeled carrots, and then just take a little box grater or a hand grate, whatever you have, and just grate the carrots over a bowl until you get about a cup. Then we're going to add our carrots to our batter, and then we're also going to add 1/2 cup of raisins. Now, I really love to use raisins in this recipe, but I know you raisin haters that don't like raisins, you're going to be looking for an alternative. So I would say if you don't like raisins, you could use 1/2 cup of pineapple, that would be really good, or 1/2 cup of walnuts, or you could add all 3. Then you're just going to combine your batter until everything is incorporated. Then you're going to take out a muffin tin that has been lightly greased with some baking spray. Now for these, because these are elegant cupcakes that almost resemble more of mini cakes, I don't like to use muffin papers. I find that they just look a little bit more elegant without them, so that's why I like to make sure that our tin is nice and greased. Then you're going to scoop out your batter with an ice cream scoop, filling them about 3/4 of the way full. Then you're going to place them in a 350-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 18 to 20 minutes, just until the cupcakes are nice and set and turning golden brown. While our cupcakes are cooling, we can get on with making our fondant carrots. This is a really fun little project that's great to do with kids or really any adults. It's like playing with Play-Doh. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out about 6 ounces of fondant. Now, if you're not familiar with fondant, it is a wonderful sugar paste that can be molded into all kinds of things. So we're just going to take out a little mound, flatten it, and then you're going to add about 2 to 3 drops of orange food coloring. It's better to add less than more just to make sure you get the desired color, because if you add too much, it's really hard to lighten it. You have to actually add more fondant, and it's a lot harder to do. It's a lot easier to add more if you need it. And what I like to do just at this stage is take the fondant and pop it in a Ziploc bag, just so that we can work in the food coloring and not get it all over our hands. Then once the food coloring is incorporated into the fondant, you can remove it from the bag, and then we're just going to take a little bit of powdered sugar and dust it on our board. This is going to prevent the fondant from actually sticking on the board and make it a lot easier to handle. Then you're going to pinch off a little ball about the size of a jawbreaker, and then make sure that it's nice and rolled into a beautiful ball. And then we are going to pinch one end of it and flatten out the top. You're basically looking for the shape of like a little skull. And then you want to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And then at this point, we're going to start to roll it on the board, and you're going to end up with something that looks like an old-fashioned light bulb. And then once it looks like that little light bulb, you're going to take 2 fingers and just working towards one end, begin to roll it. And as you'll see, as you roll it, it'll start to thin out on the bottom and fatten out on the top. And you'll start to see a little carrot will form. Just keep going until you get about a 2-inch carrot. The next thing we're going to do is add a little dimension to this carrot with a paring knife. So you're just going to take your knife and start to make little indentations all up the side of the carrot. And what that's going to do is resemble those little grains that a natural carrot would have. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, the more imperfect it is, the more it's going to look like the real thing. Then you can transfer your carrot to a parchment-lined cookie sheet. And this is really just so that the carrot does not stick, because at this point the fondant is still probably pretty tacky, but what will happen over time, in about an hour or so, those carrots will actually dry out and become harder, and that will make them a lot easier to put on the top of our cupcakes. Once you have all your carrots, we're gonna make the tops of the carrots, and these are even easier. So we're gonna take another pinch of fondant, we're gonna flatten it out, we're gonna add 1 drop of the green food coloring, and you really don't need to use that much because again, we're going for a very light pastel color green. You can go ahead and just mush it all together, throw it in your Ziploc bag, work it in until it's nice and incorporated, and then we're gonna remove it from the bag, and at this point you probably need a little bit more powdered sugar. Pinch off a little bit about the size of a pea, roll it into a little ball, then you're gonna flatten it and form it almost like a little oval, and you can pinch it down at one side so that it sort of comes together in a point. And then we're gonna go back and take our little paring knife and put 1 line in the center and then 2 little branches on either side. We're going for the look of like a little leaf pattern. Then you can just repeat that process 11 more times until all your little tops are done. So to prepare our frosting, it's really simple. We're just gonna take 18 ounces of softened cream cheese, put it in the bowl of an electric mixer. To that, we're gonna add a cup of softened butter, whip that all together until it's nice and combined, and then you're slowly gonna add a cup of powdered sugar. And once that's all combined, then you can add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And that's all you have to do. The frosting is done. Then you can take your frosting, transfer it to a pastry bag, fitted with your favorite tip. And for this, I'm gonna use the Wilton 2D tip. I really like this tip because I find that it creates a slightly unusual piping that's very pretty for a carrot cupcake. But you could use anything you like. So now we're ready to assemble our cupcakes. So you're gonna pipe a little mound of frosting on the top of your cupcake. What I like to do is frost all my cupcakes first, then transfer them onto a cake stand, and then you can go ahead and place the little carrots and the tops into the frosting. And you'll see the frosting actually acts like a little glue holding them in place. And there you have it, carrot cake cupcakes with little fondant carrots on top. I love this recipe because they are so cute and charming and perfect for any springtime occasion. People are always charmed when you bring this to the table. They're so elegant and festive, and they are so delicious too. I hope you guys give this one a try and let me know what you think. And remember, head over to the Garden Channel if you're interested in learning how to grow your own lemons and want a recipe for a fantastic lemon pound cake. All right, you guys, I'll see you over there. Bye.